Hey, Heart Seekers, welcome to the Heart's Hello Show, a space where truth meets tenderness and your journey back to yourself begins. I am your host, Kiana Talena, and around here, we don't do surface. We get real, we go deep, and we speak to the parts of you that you thought no one saw. Whether you're in a season of rediscovery, rebuilding, or just trying to breathe again, you're safe here. Let's unpack, unlearn, and unlock who you were always meant to be. Hey, y'all, it's my birthday week. I'm coming up on double fours. You hear me? And so this episode, it's personal. Not because I need to share all of my wins, not because I want to make a moment about me, but because I want to honor the version of me that made it to this birthday. The version that refined herself in silence, the version that fell apart privately and rebuilt without applause, the version that didn't just survive, but started reestablishing. See, this past year, my word was refine. And baby, let me tell you something. I thought it was going to be about glow ups and grace, but baby, it was about grit. The kind of grit that shows up when the answers don't. The kind of fire that burns away the roles you used to play just to be accepted. The kind of quiet that teaches you how to hear yourself again without the noise of people's expectations. I had to choose peace over performance, stillness over strategy, and softness even when I felt like I had to stay armored up. Refinement isn't just about getting better. It's about letting go of what's not even you in the first place. So what did I gain? I didn't know that letting go would bring me closer to myself. I lost things, people, plans, positions. But what I did gain was peace, and I gained presence. I learned that grief and grace can live in the same room, that healing isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers, and that God doesn't waste a single season. So yeah, there were days when I questioned everything, but even in that, I was being anchored in truth, anchored in identity, anchored in a version of me that wasn't tied to applause, the title, or the timeline. And so in this season of reestablishing, who even just thinking about it now begins to bring tears to my eyes because I know that all that I have been through up until this point, and for God to give me this word reestablish, I can only imagine. I know that God is getting ready to blow my mind. And so now that I'm not just walking into a new age, I'm walking into a new assignment. I'm walking into a new alignment. I'm walking into a new anointing. Whew. And this season of reestablishing, it's not about starting over, but starting from the foundation of who I truly am, not who I was forced to be. Reestablishing is about planting yourself, not rushing the harvest. It's about becoming rooted in what matters and building from truth. See, this birthday isn't about balloons, it's becoming. I'm reestablishing how I show up in love, how I mother, how I build, how I speak, how I lead, and most importantly, how I see myself. Because this time, I'm not coming back as the same version. I'm coming back with clarity. Because when you're being refined, you don't just return, you rebuild, and you build differently when you know your worth. So if you're listening and if you're in a place where you're trying to figure out what's next, let me tell you something. You don't need to reinvent yourself. You just need to remember yourself, then reestablish from there. You're not starting over. You're starting from wisdom, from experience, from God alignment, from truth. And that's holy ground. So this birthday, I'm not asking for much. Just more of what aligns, more of what roots me, more of what feels like home, not hustle, more purpose, more peace, more presence. I'm done rushing, done hiding, done performing. I'm reestablishing from rest, from reverence, from being, from her, the version of me that's always been waiting to come alive. So if you've been following me, you already know. We get homework over here. And so here's the journal prompt that I'll be sitting with this week, and I invite you to join me. What do I need to reestablish in this season? Not just to move forward, but to move forward from who I really am. I'll say it again. What do I need to reestablish in this season? Not to just move forward, but to move forward from who I really am. Let that sit for a minute. That's a Selah moment. And if you don't know yet, that's okay. The fact that you're asking the question means your spirit's already doing the work. Oh, and you thought that I was going to end this episode and not be all the way real with you? So here's what this year actually taught me. That I was still loving people harder than I was loving myself. That I was showing up for everybody else's needs while silently hoping someone would notice mine. I was praying bold prayers, but still living from pieces of old fear. And I had mastered the art of being strong, but I hadn't fully given myself permission to be soft. I thought I had boundaries, but what I really had was burnout with lipstick on. I thought I had healed, but I realized I was just functioning well through the pain. I learned that it was easy to sound wise when you're helping others, but the real work is applying that same wisdom to yourself. And the hardest truth of all, I was still asking for divine purpose while holding on to expired versions of me. This year broke me open so I could finally stop auditioning and start being. See, that's the core truth. That's the story that no one wants to talk about. That's the story that even when I am pouring out all that I have, that I'm silently sometimes crying because there are areas in me that still need work. But I still showed up. And I needed every time that I showed up, every time that I poured out, there was something else that was being birthed down on the inside of me. There was something else that was being refined down on the inside of me. There was something else that was still being tweaked and worked on, but I was still showing up because life does not just stop when things get hard. You have to keep going. Sometimes you'll cry while you're doing it. And as you begin to level up, as you begin to come into the version of you, as you begin to walk into the rooms that you are so destined to be in, there will be times when you just don't have the answer. But you've already done enough work so that when you show up, that it doesn't show on your face. That's the truth. That's the moment when you begin to answer your heart and say hello. That's the moment when you can no longer lie to yourself. That's the moment when you can look at you in the mirror and say that I'm not okay, but I will be. So I need you. I need you to get honest with you and have true conversations with you about where you are. because you can continue to lie to you. You can continue to put the mask on and still try to push forward. But I promise you that until you begin to peel away every layer, until you begin to take the mask off and recognize who you truly are. See, even as I shared my truth, I was still showing up as the best version of me, although I still needed work. So that's the thing. Let's get to a place where we can do the work, we can show up, and still recognize when there are areas where we need to tweak. But y'all, this year, I'm so excited for where it is that we are going together. Because when God gives me a word, He doesn't just give me that word for me. See, some of you all could have gone through your refining season last year as well. And you know that it didn't always feel good. Being refined does not mean that it feels good. And I'm not saying that that the year felt bad. Yes, there were times, there were moments, but it was a hard year. It was an honest year to myself. And I needed that. So that when I step into this season of reestablishing, that all that I didn't need had already been refined and burned off. Is there still work to be done? Absolutely. Because our goal is to get a little bit better each and every day. And so the way that we go about doing that is to realize that we've just gotten to another stop in our destination, but we have not arrived yet. So until next time, this is the Heart's Hello. Be real, be whole, and most of all, be you. If this episode spoke to your heart, I hope you'll sit with it, share it, and let it shift something in you. You don't have to have it all together. You just have to be willing to be real. Keep showing up for yourself. Keep saying hello to your heart. And until next time, I'm Kiana Talena, and this is the Heart's Hello Show, where growth sounds like grace and healing feels like home.